Hi, a couple of updates I'm quite excited about, but honestly, I need to just run through this ritual again briefly to establish some context before I pick up the pace again properly. Uh, Not to mention to kickstart the practice of presenting because I haven't done this for a little while. Uh, so, short background here. Uh, I've been working remotely, so I'm not uh, sort of twiddling my fingers or anything. I haven't had as much time on my hands as some people, but I, as I have been working remotely, I've had a, a reasonable amount more time and energy to which I've been using to revise my own personal work ethic. Might have touched upon very briefly on the one I did like a month ago or whatever, but yeah, revising the kind of the general sort of work ethic and a few other matters around that. I completed a couple of online courses, one in nutrition most recently. These are fairly short, condensed courses, but been quite interesting. Another one in biohacking. I finished before that and dipped in and out of other courses and material. One around microbiome, which was a bit above me at the moment. But the point there is I've been using some time to educate myself a bit better, which will help inform June's presentation, which is still going to happen. Not the actual presentation in London, obviously, but I'm going to make something for then. A nice, yeah, it will be a video presentation, but unlike this, it will be a proper slideshow. It'll be thoroughly referenced and concise and set. What do we call it? Establish a checkpoint as to professional progression from there. So yeah, completed the courses and June's presentation. What I can say as of this point is relating to adaptive mechanisms pertaining to health, particularly, but more broadly speaking, health as in how we may culturally perceive health. This this was already a really big interest to me for a while, but undoubtedly this whole pandemic will present this project through its own particular lens. So we'll see how that goes. Um, so I'm running, just as a quick mention, I'm running Group Crit's creative hangout space still, that I was doing in Canterbury on a monthly basis prior to the lockdown. They're happening on Zoom. I just wanted to crowbar that thing in there in case anybody is interested in taking part. It's a good exercise, kind of like what I'm doing here, but on Zoom, where you can actually get some fairly immediate feedback and all of that, and just more informally talk about interesting things. So, yeah, there are a few obstacles I have to acknowledge right now because I don't know how big an obstacle they're still going to pose for me practically at this moment, given everything I'm setting out here. But another reason for the recent slow pace in making things is I'm on the final major phase of orthodontic treatment. You can see this is where we're at the iron. Uh, Now, it's been kind of amazing what's happened there. I'm not going to get into all that, but since this January, even it's amazing. But I there have been phases that have been particularly painful. Obviously, something like braces and orthodontic treatment is going to be painful and a strain. At the moment, that is becoming particularly the case again, and that strain does compromise the energy and focus on a day-to-day basis somewhat. As these top and bottom row of teeth get closer and closer together, as they are very nearly doing now, that's probably going to be quite sore until I fully adapt to that. But it's remarkable. It really is. This whole treatment has been instrumental in my recent endeavours the last couple of years to learn more about my own biochemistry, which aligns with the overall interest in health and biohacking. Anything that creates that much strain, albeit temporary, it has other compromising side effects. So, what's happening next? I'm working on this was an aside that escalated into a huge thing, as these ideas often do. But we started watching back the Star Wars Skywalker saga at the house now that all 9 episodes are complete, and I thought I would spend what I assume would be an afternoon writing my own thoughts about it, in terms to try and look at it chronologically, as I have my own views on the subject. I'm a huge fan, but there's more specific kind of views I have on it that, like a lot of bloggers do, it was more a kind of a hobby, self-interest thing that was going to take an afternoon, and so far it's looking like about a 5,000 or 6,000 word essay. But it's one of those things I've gotten so far with that now that I have to finish it, or it will drive me mad. And it's a subject that I've wanted to articulate my thoughts on for a long time. I know many people out there have, but I want to make a particular case about it now, and I think I'm really enjoying it. So that's happening, and then once that has finished, I will I'll plaster that on the internet, obviously, as I always do with anything that I make, and then I'll work on this presentation either by June or June itself. It may be finished early, is what I'm saying. I don't know. Again, the brace issue here, it's rather sore at the moment as these ones are beginning to join from the back, but who knows? It could be a right pain the closer it gets to completion. It would almost seem appropriate, really, given the whole journey of that so far. So that's kind of it, really. I'm really looking forward to not only finishing the Star Wars blog for whatever effect that has practically on the world, something that I would like to have finished, and I'm really looking forward to this presentation. The actual presentation itself that was meant to be in London, I still don't know if that's going to. I've not heard any word about postponing dates or plans to move it online or anything like that. It's just something that will happen some point later down the line when it can happen. So yeah, that's it. Goodbye.